Hi guys, hope you've had a sensational day. Tonight we are talking on the topic of anxiety. We all deal with anxiety in some form in our day-to-day lives, but anxiety can be much stronger and a much more intense experience for many people. Anxiety itself is a natural human response that actually serves a purpose. So our goal shouldn't be, I guess, to totally dismiss it. The goal, however, is how can we manage it? And the key is, I guess, understanding how we can cope with it in a healthy way, especially for our children. Especially when their hearts and minds need to be strong and empowered the most. And that's, of course, when they're at school. Hang on for a second. I'm just going to invite our guest into the screen. Hang on. Invite her into the screen. Tonight we're going to be sharing strategies. Hi, Kim, how are you doing?
Hey, darling, how are you?
Really excited to be chatting with you. I was just about to introduce you to our audience. And
Okay, great.
Yeah, so everybody, this is Kim. Kim Norton, she's a holistic counsellor and founder of Rainbow Light Therapies, who'll be sharing some of the strategies that she's used with her son and I guess with a successful transition. And I was just having a bit of a chat to everyone, just explaining, I guess, that more so than anything, that we all can suffer with anxiety in our day-to-day lives, but the key is to understanding how we can cope with it in a healthy way. But especially for our children, when they're at school and when they're the most vulnerable, especially when we need their hearts and minds to be strong and to be empowered the most, and they're at school, the very thing that we need to feed and that we need to empower at the same time when they're suffering with anxiety is going to be sort of suffering. So we're all here. We want to learn from you, from your experience, your knowledge, and the strategies, I guess, that you've used that's helped you and your family. So can you give us a little bit of a background, I guess, you've got two children, and
Two children, yes.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about your experience and what's led you to writing the article.
Okay, so I have two children, one 14-year-old boy. He has autism and some other special needs. I have a 17-year-old daughter. She is at the other end of the scale. She's very much a high achiever and quite the perfectionist. She has her own issues with stress and anxiety. The reason I wrote the article was because with the clients I see and with my own children, what I have found is that every child starting high school has some type of stress. Stress is brought about by change, and every family will go through some sort of stress with their child starting high school. The article is about teaching the parents how that they can recognise if their child's stressed or not, what strategies we can implement, and how we can go about helping them and empowering them to manage their own stress and anxiety.
Yeah. So
yeah.
So this is something. So your son's now in year 9, and
yes,
you've been managing this now with him for the last couple of years. And have you seen the transition in his behaviour and his behavioural patterns since you've been sort of coaching him through this?
Definitely. I have to point out that I am just mum with my own children.
You're not
and
just mum,
as mum,
and that's it. That's
no. Okay, but I'm just mum, and it always helps to have someone else for them to talk to, because they'll tend to listen a little bit more to someone else rather than just what mum tells them to do.
Yeah.
He has had the help of a psychologist and a speech therapist as well, which has helped tremendously. But yes, I have seen a major improvement in him being able to handle his stress and anxiety, just using the simple techniques that I have listed in the article and in other articles as well.
So could you just give a little bit of an overview as to the behavioural patterns that you've seen from leading up to, I guess, when you noticed and to where he is now, as an example, to give us a bit of a gauge of the range?
Sure. When our kids finish grade 6, and same with my son, they finish grade 6, they're the top of the school, they are the kingpins, they are the ones that the other kids go to, they are the ones that the teachers go to, they get to do all the good jobs, all the important jobs, all the kids look up to them, it's cool to hang out with the grade 6 kids, and they're pretty much, grade 6 is a really great year for improving their self-esteem, their self-worth, and just filling them with that self-confidence. When they get to year 7, they're back to the bottom. They are the bottom feeders again. at that big high school, especially when they're going to a high school that has 1,000+ kids. A lot of high schools are that size now. So they're going from a primary school, 300, 400, 500 kids, to a high school where it's 1,000+ kids. So they're at the bottom again, and they know how they treated preps and grade 1s and grade 2s when they were in grade 6 and what they thought of them, and now the tables are turned. Okay, so anything new is going to bring about stress and anxiety, and this is what they're coping with. So anything we can do to help them just cope with that is going to help build and develop resilience, because that's what developing resilience is. The only way we can teach our kids resilience is to equip them with the tools necessary to cope with the change, and then let them actually go through it and actually do it. Yeah.
And this has been something that was hard for you to see your son sort of go through that transition?
Yes, definitely. He was he went from a primary school of 150 kids to a high school of 1,500+. He has some aid support, some integration aid support at school. He has a wonderful team behind him helping him. Obviously, he has a wonderful team at home, but it was still quite stressful and he was quite anxious about the whole thing.
Yeah.
As well. Yeah.
So what are the symptoms of stress that parents should be looking out for, I guess, if their child's sort of in this phase, which they will be in the next sort of week or so, leading into starting school? Yeah.
Okay, so a big one will be sleep, not being able to sleep or having nightmares or bad dreams, nail biting, hair pulling, just negative self-talk, voicing their negative self-talk, obviously, just withdrawing from their peers, just quite obviously voicing tantrums. Tantrums can be quite hard. Tantrums are more seen in the younger ones, rather than high school. Tantrums and meltdowns can be are quite different. Meltdowns are a way of our kids showing that they're just not coping. Tantrums are more of a behaviour to get a response. Okay, so meltdowns are more, I'm just not coping, I can't do this. So more like a panic attack in our older kids when we're talking about starting high school. It's more of that panic attack type scenario.
Yeah.
Eating, they change their eating habits, so they're eating more or eating less. Just withdrawing from their peers, withdrawing from the family, spending more time in their room. Teenagers spend a lot of time in their rooms anyway, but even more so. Escaping. A lot of our tweens and teens will escape and use video games, PlayStation games, Xbox games as a way to, it's an escapism as well as a way to de-stress. I get the de-stressing part, but with that needs to be a balance with that as well. There is just anything that's different for your child, because every child is so different. So it really is about taking notice and just watching for signs that I've said, and any other sign that you think is just different for your child. Your child doesn't usually do that, so something's up.
And stress and anxiety are the same thing, are they?
No. Stress is our body's reaction to change. Okay, so it could be emotional, mental, physical. Anxiety is the way we respond to stress. So this is very much in layman's terms here, but that's a very simple way to explain it. So stress is a necessary part of everyday life. We need stress to develop resilience. Stress makes us look both ways before crossing the street so that we don't get hit by a car. Okay? Stress gives us that nervous excitement, that gives us that adrenaline rush where we will do that bungee jump, or we will do something that we wouldn't normally do. Okay? Anxiety is where it's prevents us from doing everyday things.
Okay, so that's the difference.
That is one of the main difference in layman's terms. Yeah.
Layman's terms.
Yeah.
And I guess for all of our teachers out there, and praise to the teachers as well. I mean, if there's any teachers watching, and when they are watching, what should they be looking for in their students? I guess, or when their students are starting the year, to identify the students that are suffering with anxiety.
Sure. So in the classroom, one of the main things that they will look out for is misbehavior. All right, because often a child who is stressed or suffering from anxiety, who cannot follow the teacher's instructions, doesn't understand what they're saying, then feels like a fool, feels like an idiot. They don't understand what's going on. They don't know what to do next. They will act out in the classroom. Obviously, the other symptoms, as I've already mentioned as well, so just hair pulling, nail biting, talking a lot in class can also be a sign of stress. Just anything to distract themselves from the task at hand.
So I, as a child, was like sort of like the hyperactive kid in the class, and I don't think I necessarily was suffering from anxiety. So how can teachers know the difference between someone that's probably just a little bit spirited, and as opposed to someone that's got? Can teachers and parents know the difference between the two, or is it the same thing? Maybe I don't know. Have you found?
No, it can be quite different things, and I think the main thing that I would take from that is that it's really important for the teachers and the parents to have that open communication and that open dialogue. Yeah. And if it's only happening at home or it's only happening at school, that's a really good indication that it's a sign of stress or anxiety. Yeah. Okay. If you've got a child that's free spirited, or has ADHD or ADD, or just that hyperactive child, they would be exhibiting those behaviours across the board in all circumstances, not just one place or the other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've just had a comment come through. I'm just going to hi Tashi D, thanks for your comment. My son withdraws and can stab his leg with a pen when having anxiety. Yep. So there you go. So it is, I guess, behaviour that's not quite normal and something that they're doing.
Sure. Yeah. And self-harming behaviours are quite common, and that it can often be because it's just they are not in control. Yeah. And so they want to control how they feel, and so pain is a way to control how you feel. Yeah, and that can be quite extreme as well. Yeah. But that is what happens, definitely.
So do you have any advice for Tashi D then, what she should maybe do to help her son in that instance? Is there anything else?
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm not a self-harming expert by any means with self-harming behaviours, but what I could advise, and I do actually know Tashi, so that's okay. Oh, cool. What I would advise is there are always signs that lead up. I have a lot of parents that come to me and say their child goes from 0 to 100 in 2 seconds. There's no telltale signs. There are no triggers. There are no stresses. And what I will say is that there always is, okay? Now, whether that might be a thought that goes through that child's head, a location, a smell, it can be an aroma, it can be any one of the senses that triggers that child, okay? So it's really important to play detective and find out what those triggers are, okay? We know what the symptom is, which is the using the pen to stab himself in the leg. So what is it that triggers him, okay? And then we can teach him the strategies he needs to manage those triggers, because there's always going to be triggers everywhere we go. Always in life, somewhere along the line, someone is, that's going to be there. So we need to teach them how to manage rather than remove them from the triggers.
Yep, and that's like resilience you're talking about before as well.
Yes. Yes.
Yep. Sensational. Well, we've got the 3 key questions that we're going to ask you. Should we get cracking with them now? Question number 1, and we've covered a little bit of this already. How do I know if my teen is stressed? What are the signs and symptoms?
Okay, so signs and symptoms, like I said, hair pulling, nail biting, obviously self-harm is a big one. Sleep problems. In our younger kids, it can be bedwetting. Nightmares can occur at any age. Just withdrawing from peers, withdrawing from social circles, not wanting to participate in things that they would normally like to participate in. There are kids that, are really good at singing. Is an example that I use, where they walk around the house singing, they're really good, they have singing lessons, but they don't want to sing at school. That shows a sign of stress as well. Not wanting to go to, wanting to be invited to the birthday party, but not wanting to go to the birthday party because they can't handle being around the people and they don't want to see the people, they don't know how to act. Yeah, so a drop in self-confidence, a drop in self-esteem, a drop in grades, obviously, behaviours at school, teachers' reports, all things to look out for.
Yeah, I mean, I remember it was a little bit younger than being in high school, but I loved my grade 2 teacher, Mrs. Cusack.
Sure.
and I was moving to Mrs. Quilty in grade 3, and I didn't know what my grade 3 teacher was going to be like. And I remember having like massive anxiety because I didn't want to have to leave my teacher that I'd had for the last 12 months, and I was going to move to a teacher that I didn't know. In your experience, is this something that you've encountered a lot with the families that you see, that even just that transition from
Yes.
and the unknown?
Yes, definitely. The fear of the unknown is huge, especially in high school, because you go from primary school to having one main teacher and you stay in one main classroom, and that's it.
Yep.
Yeah. High school, you've got 6 or 7 different teachers, 6 or different classrooms. You've got to walk around a huge campus. There's the fear of getting lost. There's the fear of not turning up to class on time because teachers tell you you'll get detention if you don't turn up to class on time. You've got a bell that you've got to get stuff out of your locker, then you've got a bell to get to class. It's just go, 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 go. There's not a lot of room for the kids to de-stress or to take a break, except recess and lunch, which is often why they will come home from school and just cut loose.
Yeah.
Or retreat.
Yeah.
Yeah. My son used to sit in his cupboard with his iPad.
Yeah.
That was, I knew, just to leave him alone for an hour, and then he would come out and say, "Hey, Mum, how are you?" Yeah. So,
yeah. It's just and I guess in those instances when the child is retreating, what do you suggest the best thing is for parents to do then?
That's their way of distressing. That's fine. I don't see any problem with that whatsoever. No, that's him self-regulating. That is their child self-regulating and bringing themselves down to a place where they're at that calm place where they can come out and then be around other people.
Yeah.
So let them do it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely.
Cool. All right, question number 2. What might be some of the reasons for their stress at this time?
Okay, so we have covered a few, but some more. The main reasons for the stress going into high school, or especially around that age, you've got puberty and you've got hormones. Okay, we can't just assume that every action or behaviour of our tween or teen is because of their hormones or because they're going through puberty. So we do have to look out for those other behaviours that I've already suggested. Starting high school, everything's new. Everything is new. New teachers, new books, new classes, new subjects, new. Change is what brings about stress.
Yeah.
So it's just, could you imagine doing that now? Could you imagine starting university and going and just walking into a campus and just, being looking at a schedule and just being in, 10 different places in the one day and what is expecting of you and not knowing what's expected of you.
Yeah.
Because some teachers are better at explaining that than others.
Yes.
Yeah, but that's a big one. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's get into question number 3. Now, how can I help them with their anxiety around starting high school and then into following weeks and months following that into term 1?
Sure. So in the article, I've outlined quite a few things. I won't go through all of them, but one thing I found that really helped my son, and which does help a lot of kids in general, especially our kids with high stress and anxiety, is to get them familiar with the school, get them familiar with the timetable. So colour code the timetable, colour code the books, colour code a map of the school. So everything for math, for example, is in green. So there's green maths books, green classrooms on the map, and a green check or a green box on their timetable. It just makes it a bit easier when they're really stressed and flustered. They've got 2 minutes to get to a class. They can look in their locker. They know it's maths next. They can just grab the green book. Okay, that really does help.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Another important thing is to really keep open the lines of communication, because if you ask your 12-year-old son, did you have a good day at school? His answer will be, yep. If you say, did you have math today? His answer will be, yep. Okay? We want to encourage our kids to have a bit more of an open dialogue and express how they're feeling. So we need to ask questions that are a bit more open-ended. So what did you find exciting that happened at school today? Or what made you happy today? Or what was something that disappointed you today? And get them really keeping that dialogue open and talking so that you know exactly how they're feeling and what's going on.
You speak about the school's online communication app as well. How can parents use that to help gauge their child's level of anxiety or not?
Okay. different schools do have different communication apps, but most of them have at least one. So on there you will find the children's timetables, all of their learning tasks, their reports, and any communication that the teacher wants to send home to you. If it's not via email, it will be on that communication app. So I think it's really important from day one. When most of the teachers will send home an email saying, hey, I'm your son's new maths teacher or whatever. Drop me a line if you ever need to communicate. Let me know if there's any issues. Do it. Drop that line straight away and say, hey, I'm here. If you ever need me, please call me, please ring, please text. Because not a lot of parents do that, and not a lot of parents want to know either. And it's really quite eye-opening that there are not a lot of parents who are either available, have the time, or just leave the schooling to the teachers and don't take on that sort of equal role with the teaching and the education side.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the teachers love to know that you're available.
Yeah. And the other thing you speak about as well, which is I think really useful, is bringing back their bedtime routine. As well.
Yes. We've all been on holidays. We've all been staying up a bit later than what we should be. And it's hard to get back into a routine. It really is. So I suggest, at least 4 or 5 nights ahead, just start bringing it back just a little bit, just 15 minutes, 20 minutes, depending on how late they've been staying up. And then you adjust the morning as well. So you bring the nighttime bed back, and then in the morning just bring that back as well a little bit. So by the first day of school, it's not such a huge, I've only had 6 hours sleep and I don't know what I'm doing type thing.
And you speak about don't leave anything to the last minute, so encourage them to pack their school bag and have everything already ready for the morning, so that's it's going to help them not being overwhelmed first thing in the morning. Exactly.
Now, I did that today with my son. I took him to the school and we had to get him a new shirt. I got him a shirt and socks. Then I spent an hour with him directly after that, trying to help him manage his stress about that, because that just threw it in his face that, oh my God, I'm starting school next week. But I would rather that now and start dealing with it now and start putting those strategies into place now rather than the night before, so that he can't sleep, he can't eat, and it just turns into a full-on blown panic attack.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, I mean, the article itself has got some sensational tips, so for everyone watching, the link is at the bottom of the intro. But just quickly, before we finish up, because I know that you've also got a daughter heading into year 12, and anxiety can be in various different levels and degrees, and we were chatting offline before. So do you have any other tips for parents that have an overachieving child but has and suffers anxiety on a different end of the spectrum, and any tips for how they can help their children from that perspective?
Yeah. Sure. A lot of the same strategies, and specifically with our overachievers or high achievers or our perfectionists, we have these perfectionists who then become avoiders if they can't do a job or a task to the standard that they want to do it at, or they think it should be done at.
Yeah.
It's that open dialogue again. It's constant open dialogue and reassurance. It's constant reassurance. Really, at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter. As long as they're happy and healthy, if they want to go to uni and do a certain course, that's fine, but it's not the be all and end all if they don't get in.
Yes.
There's always ways around it. There's always plan B and plan C. And that's what I continuously point out to my daughter, that there's always plan B and plan C. If plan A doesn't work, it really doesn't matter.
Give them that reassurance. Yep. Well,
sure.
So look, we're just so grateful for your time tonight, Kim. We really are.
Well, thank you.
And you've given us some really great insight, as I said, for opposite ends of the spectrum. A child moving into high school and the child doing year 12 and considering the next step again, the next
to definitely
university, if that's where they're wanting to head and what they want to do. Now, if anyone's got any other questions or that they want to book an appointment with you or anything like that, whereabouts can they find you?
Okay, so they can find me obviously through the Kitty Peter website under advice. My link is there under Rainbow Light Therapies. Otherwise, www.rainbowlighttherapies.com.au. I'm also on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. I'm all over the place, literally at the moment. So everywhere, and really busy at the moment with back to school workshops and back to school sessions. So if you need me, I'm here and I'm quite happy to answer any questions through Kiddipedia for anybody who needs help. Not a problem.
Sensational. And once again, your article's got lots of great tips in there as well, so everybody have a read of that. Kim, we're so grateful for your time, and
thank you.
Catch up with you next month.
Wonderful. Thanks so much, Rachel.
Take
Bye. Love you, bub.
Bye.
Bye.